Okay, I'm taking myself off of mute. Doesn't mean that we're starting yet. Just wanted to say hello to everybody, and hopefully you guys can hear me. I'm looking down the list. Some of these names I can pronounce, Dave and David and Brianne and Beth, and some of these names I cannot. Jennifer, John, Laura, Linda, Louisa, Marty. Wow, you're doing that fast. Steve, Wendy, Vincent, everybody else. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're at. We will be recording this. Anthony, when will we be able to kick out the PowerPoint slides and the audio? When do you think we can kick that out to everybody?
The webinar recording will be available within 24 hours, so we'll make sure to send that to you. So we understand if you have to jump off or you have issue with the audio or something, we'll send this recording within 24 hours.
Okay. All right. Very, very good. All right. I think I want to get started. You guys all right? Brad, you good?
I'm good.
Anthony, you good?
Doing great.
All right. Everybody can hear me okay out there in the audience land? I'm looking on the left-hand side for my meeting chat, seeing if everybody can hear me. We're still waiting. Somebody, anybody, don't make me pick on volunteers. All right, here we go. All right, let me introduce the two gentlemen that are seated to my left and to my right. Anthony Johnson, I think you're going to be kind of the major presenter talking about this today. Anthony is my marketing guru. Anthony is amazing, and so, this was actually Anthony's brainchild, so I want to give credit where credit is due. And for most of you, you may not know the gentleman to my left, Brad Heyman. Brad, say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Brad is my technical guru. He is the keeper of all knowledge technical. So whenever I have a concern that I don't understand, such as like turning my computer on or turning it off, I have to go to Brad, and Brad fixes it for me. So those are the two folks that are seated to my left and my right. My name is David Luna. Let's get started with this. Anthony, go for it.
Well, we're really excited today to offer this webinar to each of you. And let me just give you a little bit of background of why we're doing this today. We've heard a lot, and we've seen a lot of mortgage marketing programs. We've actually done a couple ourselves. We, as an NMLS-approved education provider, we get asked a lot, not only how do I get my license and how do I renew my license, but how do I get business?
As I'm going around the country, I get asked that, Anthony, all the time. Well, is there something I can do to get one more loan? Is there something I can do, to kind of build up my pipeline? And that's kind of where this PipelinePRO came about, the name, right?
Exactly. We've laid out 3 steps that you can do as a mortgage professional today to improve your online mortgage marketing. But let me tell you about a little story about an individual that we know that's actually a client of ours. He had an idea that he should promote himself online to get more business. He came up with a website, a domain name. He actually had it, which is a great idea, and it was called Lender for Life. I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to show you that website.
This is live, right?
This is live. So this is actually, you go to lenderforlife.com, and this is what you see.
So he's gonna do something cool, right?
He's going to do something cool. Do you know when he started doing this?
No.
3 years ago. Now, this is an industry vet, a mortgage loan officer that has been in the industry for 30 years, okay? Had a great idea, but why did this happen?
He's got this site exactly with the shirt in the closet for 3 years?
Correct. 3 years. Now, notice the login screen. Notice something will be happening soon. Ask yourself this. Is this you? Or do you think this website is going to get any business at all? Dave, what do you think?
No, there's nothing there. There's nothing there.
I'm going to guess no. So once again, ask yourself, okay, is this your story? Do you have parts of a website? Do you have a little bit of a website? Do you know somebody that's like this? Is your company profile page on your website, because that may be the case. You join a company, they give you a profile page. Is it actually getting you business? Have you got any loans from there? Okay, so keep that in mind as we go through these steps. So step one, obviously, build or get a website. And when I mean get a website, is there's a lot of options with websites, but having a high-functioning website with a purpose, and the purpose is to do what, Dave?
Make the phone ring. Make somebody contact you, email you, something. Get a loan started. Get an app going.
And we're going to teach you today in the short 30 minutes that we have how you're going to do that. Personalized URL, personalized web domain. And Brad, I'm going to have Brad jump in, who's our IT director, and talk a little bit about how you get a personalized domain name.
So to get a domain name, which is u.com, for example, you need to find a registrar. This is if you wanted to do this on your own. You'd find a registrar, you would create a relationship with them. After you found the registrar that you want to use, you would register your domain name with them if it's available, and then you would configure the DNS. And then after you've done all that and you've got the traffic coming to you, then you would need to be renewing the domain every year. And that's basically how you would get a domain name.
A lot of people have questions about, okay, I want to get a website or I want to improve my website. What is web hosting, Brad?
So your website has to live somewhere, and web hosting is basically renting space on a server connected to the internet all the time. So to get web hosting, you'd need to find a web hosting partner. There's a whole lot out there, everything from GoDaddy to IBM. You need to create a relationship with them, make sure it's the right one, provision an account, and then you would need to configure and maintain your email services and all the other accounts and services that you would need for that website.
Okay, Brad, and I'm going to ask Dave this, how do we communicate as mortgage professionals today?
Generally speaking, on the phone, realistically, not on my desk phone, but my smartphone, a lot of text messages because, email is a little bit slower. Face-to-face, either high touch or online high tech.
Okay, so you don't stand on the corner and say, hot and ready rates, come on in my door.
Wait a minute, I'm going to make a note on that. Like a sandwich board, hot and ready rates.
Hot and ready, low rates, come in my door. I want to get a lot of walk-in traffic.
That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
So you could actually be mobile.
You have to be, because you're either calling on realtors, you're calling on, other referral partners. You've got to be out there doing something. In the past, when we were doing refis and the fish were just jumping in the boat, those days are pretty much over. Yes, I understand rates have come down a little bit, but you've got to go out there and you've got to go get it. If you want long-term purchase business, it's not just going to jump in your boat. You actually got to take a fishing pole and line and hook and worm, and you got to actually go out there and go fishing.
Does this sound familiar to anybody? Let's move on. Okay, Brad, so website platform. How do we find the platform?
So if you're going to do this on your own, you got to figure out how you're going to host your website, what software you're going to use, what plugins you're going to need for that, and then you're going to need to deploy and configure all of that. So you're going to need to make sure you've got the right type of server, that the server has all of the services that it needs, email, databases, whatever that means. And then after you've got all that created, you're going to have to make sure that it's all up to date and secure and current.
Does anyone speak foreign language like technology in here?
I do.
Yes, Brad does. So here we go. So once you get everything established, you're going to tie it in. And you're going to tie it in through social media is a great avenue to do. So Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. You're probably already doing this. You probably have a Facebook page. You probably have a LinkedIn page. Are you using it? Are you utilizing it to get more loans? How do you do that, Dave?
Well, I've got thousands, in my LinkedIn. I've got thousands of Twitter followers. I have thousands of likes on Facebook. You've got to start with one, and then two, and then three, and you just have to constantly be doing it and update. And what we did this year is we got approval from NMLS to teach a class on social media. Believe it or not, we do have a CE class this year. If you're going to see us for CE, that would be great. But we have a CE class on social media where we talk about all of the pluses and minuses and things that you should be aware of and what's going on.
So who would be on your LinkedIn? Who would be on your Facebook? I have a couple ideas. How about realtors, builders, other mortgage professionals,
referral partners, I mean CPAs, financial planners, insurance agents, things like that.
So that's how you connect in with the social. So that was, once again, step one. You're building your online presence. You have the platform, which many of you may have pieces of it. You may have a website, but this is how you're going to, this is step one, to build it. Now, step two we have is get on Google. Why should we get on Google, Brad? What's so important about Google?
Google is the top search engine, and the way that people find you is through search engines. So Google has 67% of the market share, as well as some of the other search engines. You're going to need to get a Google account set up to be able to get on Google in the first place, and then you're going to need to tie everything in to that Google account. You're going to need to also get onto Bing and Yahoo and Ask as well, so that you can get your website into these search engines where people are looking for things. As I said, you need to create a Google account or Microsoft or Yahoo or whatever the equivalent of that is. Again, if you're doing this on your own, you're going to need to create a Webmaster Tools account for your Google account if you want to be able to control Google, and you're going to have to verify yourself with all of these services in order to prove to them that you really own your domain and that therefore they should talk to you.
Did you know that you can have a Google account without a Google email? How does that work, Brad?
Yeah, you can create a Google account with any email address if you would like. Obviously, you can create it with a Gmail account. But a Google account is what Google requires that you have to basically do anything with Google properties.
And the more you do with Google, this is, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I found out. The more you do with Google, the higher your rankings go. So doing things on YouTube, doing things with Google+, et cetera, all of those combined, I don't know if you guys knew this, but Google owns YouTube. And so anything that ties back to Google just keeps raising your, what word am I looking for, Brad? It raises you up in the search engines, and you know that location of where you want to be on that first page is what everybody is striving for. It's
the online presence.
Yeah, thank you. See, I'm not a techie guy. I'm a mortgage guy. And so the more that you do in Google, the higher your rankings will be. Now, you threw out a number, Brad, that you said Google was what again?
Yeah, as you can see here on the screen, Google has 67% of the market share of search engine. If you add Google, Microsoft, Yahoo, and Ask all together, you got 98% of all searches happen on those websites. So if you're not on these websites, you are not going to be found as easily in search results. You probably aren't going to be coming up in the first page.
Now, most of you guys that know me know that, you know, I'm in my mid-50s. I didn't know all of this kind of stuff going on. I mean, before I thought that it's just a personal relationship with everybody. But what we're finding out is, you know, with these younger people, as they begin their search earlier, Brad, explain this to me.
Yeah, so as you can see here, this was a survey that was done a little while ago, but it showed that 90% of customers say that their buying decisions, as it says here, are influenced by online reviews, as well as searches. You know, the way that people find these reviews is through the search engines again.
Okay, so I mean, we got to face it. Here in 2014, you've got to have an online presence, and it can't just be like that Hawaiian shirt hanging in the closet, right?
Right.
Okay, so ask yourself this. Why should you track and monitor the traffic that goes to your website? Do you know if there's people that are staying on certain pages, how many people are coming to your website or your profile page? Do you know that information? Why is that important? Why would we want to know? Brad, why would we want to know that?
Well, as it says here, you know, if you create a Google Analytics account with Google, then you can track all of your traffic. You can track what pages they come to, how did they get there, what search terms did they look up to get to you, what page did they leave on, how frequently does that happen. You know, you can see basically any information about the traffic that's coming to your website that will then help you know what should you do with your website. If you buy ads, which we're going to be talking about here in a little while. Which ads are useful? Which ones are the ones that are getting results? You won't know any of that if you don't track any of your analytics.
We're going to show you some examples right now about Google Places. Does anyone know what Google Places is? It's Brad, we talked to Google. What's
do
Google
it in
Places?
English, because I know you're very, very smart. What's Google Places?
So
Brad?
Google Places is a specific program that Google has set up where you can provide Google your information, and then your information will pop up on Google search results. And I think Anthony's going to show you what it looks like if you do that.
Okay, so everybody, when Brad and Anthony started showing me what you're going to see next, I was absolutely blown away. I was teaching class, and I forget where I was. I could have been in Texas. I don't remember exactly where I was when I found out about this, but I was absolutely amazed and surprised, okay? So we're going to stop with the technical for half of a second, and let's just tell you exactly, plain English, what people are looking for, what they find, what they see. Anthony?
So if I was the borrower, and let's say I moved to the great state of Washington, and I typed in home loans, Bellevue, Washington, here is all the mortgage companies that come up. Maybe you've heard of these companies: Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Home Street Bank.
Okay, so most of our audience is probably not Wells Fargo, Bank of America, any bank or any credit union. And so, ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking at the screen on those red dots, that's what pops up here in Bellevue, Washington. So we have the state, the city. We're looking specifically for home loans. That's what shows up. I'm seeing some dots. And I don't know about you guys, but most people want to do business with a person instead of an entity. I've been at several different mortgage companies, and when I move, they follow me, the individual. They're not necessarily loyal to the company. They're loyal to their loan officer that took care of them. Okay? So what else did you find when you were looking, around?
Well, maybe Bellevue's different. Maybe we'll try a different city. Let's try.
Well, we were looking at not only Bellevue, the city, but we were looking at Bellevue in loan originators. I mean, just
different keyword.
Just turn it around to sit there and say, okay, let me find a person instead of a company. I'm looking at this thing, and I'm seeing that there are in Bellevue, I don't know, 2.
There's no people.
There's no people. There's 2, and it's both the same company. So that particular mortgage company with a branch next to that cloverleaf on the freeway is the only thing that pops up.
So Brad, wait. How is that company doing that?
They probably have a Google Places for Business account, and so they told Google they existed, so when someone searches in Bellevue, Washington, they pop up on the map.
What about keyword? What if they search loan originator?
They probably bought some keywords from Google as well.
Okay, so there's things you can do to make sure that you show up there. And why is that beneficial? Because if I'm the borrower and you show up and I can pull you up, right now you're not even in the game. You're not even competing in that keyword search.
I was in Southern California a little while ago, like last month, and I just did this for Los Angeles, California. When I looked up loan officers in Los Angeles, California, a city of millions and millions and millions of people, guess what I found? I found 13 loan officers in all of Los Angeles. Then I went to a different city, and I'm not trying to pick on states or cities or anything, and I found 5 in that particular city. And then I said, well, wait a minute, let me look up loan officers in a particular state. And when I did that, again, I only found about 10 loan officers in an entire state.
So let's switch. Let's go to home loans in Austin, Texas. So if I'm searching, I want a home loan, Austin, this is what I'm going to pull up.
The Star of Texas Credit Union and West Star Mortgage. There's 2. That's it.
I'm going to keep going here. These are different examples. Loan originators in Austin, Texas. How many do we see? We see 2. Okay? And notice Let's take a note here that these are traditional banks. A lot of them, the majority of these searches are pulling up banks. Why is that, Dave?
Well, those are the banks that have probably spent some money. But again, most of the people on our call are, smaller loan originators. I mean, I know Jenny was on there earlier. I mean, I don't know how many LOs Jenny has, but I'm going to tell you, she's not a bank and she's not a credit union. Okay, and most of the people that I see as I go around the country are cruising at 10 loan officers or less. Most of them less.
Let's keep going. So let's go in Florida. Home loans, Jacksonville, Florida. How many do we have? How many do we see? We see 2. Let's keep going. Loan originators. If this is what I'm searching, this is what I'm going to see. Home loans in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Once again, Flagstar Bank, Skyline. So a handful. Let's keep going. Loan originators in Philadelphia. Home loans in San Diego.
I'm noticing a consistency, Anthony. No matter where we go, no matter what you type in, the amount of search results for loan officers is very, very small. And ladies and gentlemen, that's what we wanted to kind of share with you guys, is there is a huge untapped market out there, but we got to start doing it right. And so maybe, Brad, the solution would be keywords or get on Google Places. Brad, how do I do this? I mean, it's just me. It's just one loan officer by myself, and I don't have a whole lot of money. What do I do?
Well, I was saying if you want to do it on your own, you would have to get a website, first of all, as I said, and then after you've got the website, you would have to get a Google account, and then after you've got the Google account, you would get the Google Places associated with that Google account. And then after you've done, well, one of the steps in Google Places is they'll send you a thing in the mail to verify you. And once you've done all that, then you might be coming up in the search engine results, depending on how your website's designed.
Okay, so like that Hawaiian shirt, the closet, it might not necessarily be designed very well.
That one won't come up.
All right.
Okay, so just to reiterate the point, I just searched, okay? I pulled up my Google search bar, and I picked the great city of San Diego, and I'm going to share this with you. So
now this is live, right?
Just searched it, okay? So I just searched, I'm a borrower. I searched San Diego mortgage home loan because I just moved here with my family. I want to find some options. Let's look at what we see. On the right, what are those first 2, Dave?
Entities that I can't compete with.
Wait, Dave, do you get an override on those?
Heck no. No. If Wells closes a loan, I don't get an override on that. No. If Chase closes a loan, I don't get one. If U.S. Bank closes a loan, no.
Can you offer better service than a traditional bank?
Well, I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but I'm recognizing some of the names that are on this webinar with us, and I'm not going to use myself as an example. I think many on this webinar, being licensed professionals or years in the industry, could probably do a really, really, really fine job.
Would it benefit you if your company was pulling up, if you were licensed in California, if your company pulled up on the first search there?
Well, I'm looking at the top 3 that you're going through, the San Diego home loans and the mortgage home loan, that's the credit union, and then Quicken. Honestly, truthfully, those guys are buying those ads, and I don't have money to buy, the kind of ads that Quicken does. So, I mean, looking at the next one down, that's another credit union. The one after that, is Zillow. Again, I can't compete on some of those things. So, if the question is, if I could sit up at the very, very top of those lists without necessarily spending a whole lot of money, that would be huge. Because I don't know about everybody else, but for me, I know those are sponsored ads, and I don't even click on them.
And what we're telling you today is that you can compete. Now, you may not be the first one, or you may have a limited budget, we understand, but would it benefit you if you had in your city that you have an office in, that you pulled up in the top 5?
Absolutely.
And how would that benefit the borrower? So here's the borrower that sees, okay, credit union,
sponsored ads,
bank. Yeah. Oh, well, what about this person that can offer personalized service?
Right. That goes back to that high touch thing that we were talking about. Because not everybody is, walk on water credit, not everybody's got 20% down, and not everybody's been, You know what I mean? They actually have to qualify, and they want to talk to a real person that can help them jump through the hoops of buying a house. They're watching the prices go up. They're watching interest rates generally move in an upward direction. Right now, temporarily, they're not. But, they want to talk to someone that will guide them through this process.
So let's move on to step 3. We need to wrap this up fairly quick. So step 3 is to build that online trust, right? What sets you apart? When you're searching, if I'm the borrower and I'm searching, what sets you apart from these other ads, from these other places? And we came up with 3 things. Specialize. So why is specializing so important, Dave, especially as a mortgage professional?
Well, it kind of tightens down the search parameters. I mean, there are some, as I go around the country, that may be in a city and they don't do RD loans or rural development, USDA. There may be some, I just got back from Corpus Christi, and the credit union that I talked to was Navy Army Community Credit Union, where, you would think that's more military folks. It's not, even though that's the name of the credit union. So when you specialize, you probably want to kind of filter down the kinds of loans that you do, whether they be reverses, whether they be FHA, whether they be VA or whatever. You're kind of tightening down what you're really, really good at, what you specialize in.
Localize is when you, and this is an important note, is that if I'm a borrower and I'm moving into a specific area, do I want a general? Am I going to search a general search, or am I going to search, for instance, I live in Chula Vista, California, or that's where I'm moving to. I'm going to search that, and I want to find a loan officer that lives in Chula Vista or in a specific city, not just a metro area, right? And so that's how we localize the website. Now, personalize is where we get to know you, or how can I, as the borrower, get to know you on your website? What are some of the things you're going to convey? So let's keep moving here. And this is just some of the ideas that we have. So
we don't even know if these are made up. Well, we made them up out of our teeny tiny brains, but we don't know if somebody actually really has this. So it's a little bit of a play on words. Florida, with an F, for FHA. Virginia, VA. Riverside, reverse. Houston, HELOCs. I mean, you guys get it. So if you're going to pick a website, a URL, pick something that maybe describes either where you're from or what you're an expert in. That Lender for Life, I think, is a really, really good one, but it is a little vague, and it doesn't really zero in or specialize on what the person does.
Brad, why is that important, just real fast, about getting a personalized URL, personalized domain name?
So if you want to make sure that you can get the business locally, for example, the first example on the page here, if you want an FHA loan in Florida, and if your website domain name is FloridaFHAPro.com, then if somebody searches for Florida FHA, you're going to have a good chance of coming up high in the search results if that's what your domain name is.
Got it.
Okay, so going back through these 3 points, create Google Places for a business account, incorporate maps. For example, if you search mortgage educators and compliance,
that's us.
Okay, we pull up number 1, and here's our map, here's our address, here's our phone number, here's our online offerings. Why is that important? Well, because it needs to be number 1. If someone's searching your name and you're a mortgage broker and you're not pulling up, there's a problem, right?
They're not going to talk to you.
Or what if your LinkedIn pulls up? Or what if your Facebook page, right? So you want to have your website. Your website is your headquarters, okay? It's going to be how the borrowers are going to come in. They click on it. They can easily navigate. Okay, well, this is what he specializes in. Here's how I contact him. Oh, he lives right around the corner from me, and so on.
Right.
Okay, personalize. Here's actually an example of a client that we currently have, Jennifer Ney Home Loans. Okay, so she has a great URL. I'm going to go ahead and share the screen here. I'm going to show you what we did for her. Okay, so here's Jennifer. Okay, so let's see if we can find Jennifer Ney in a Google search. Okay, so Jennifer Ney Home Loans. Let's see what pulls up. Right there pulls up. There's her NMLS ID number. That's her domain. That's what you want the borrower to be to be able to see, okay?
I got to stop you here because I'm looking over your shoulder as you're doing this. Not only did she pull up number 1, but she also pulled up number 2. She also pulled up number 3. She also pulled up number 4. So, if her name, Jennifer Ney, is what she's marketing, I mean, she's got the first 4 spots, and I don't really see any sponsored ads except off to the right, which I'm just training myself that if it's off to the right, I just ignore it. So, I mean, she's dominating this thing. Hopefully, she's absolutely pushing her name.
So I'm clicking on it. The first thing that pulls up, here's what I see. And Brad, tell us a little bit about what made you choose the layout, the design.
So that's a picture right there of Jennifer. Jennifer's one of the clients that we've designed her website for her. This website is also mobile compatible, so if you pulled this website up on your cell phone or your tablet, the screen would be formatted specially for you. And as you can see, we've got this slider, as it's called, that's going through some of the different things that she has, tools that she has, first-time home buyers, selling her home. You've got a way to contact her right there. If you click on the link up in the upper right corner, that will actually call her if you've got a smartphone, for example. We've also got maps here that will show you where she's located and ways to contact her, which is basically all the things that we've been talking about, that you can fill out this contact form and say that I want to buy something. She wanted to have a special form on her Selling Your Home page that talks a little bit about how what information about her home, how many bedrooms it has, stuff like that. So this has all of the different things that we've been talking about. As you can see, when you searched for her in a Google search, she came up number 1.
Excellent. Okay, let's get back. I know we're short on time here. We sure appreciate your patience. Okay, so Brad just went through. These are standard things. Have a current and fresh site design. Make sure it works. Make sure it works on smartphones, tablets, because these are what the borrowers are going to be searching on.
That's exactly right.
Okay? Make sure it obviously works. Be secure. Make sure it has an SSL certificate. Brad, in 20 seconds, explain to us what an SSL certificate is and why is it important.
Allows your website to be secure. It gives that little lock symbol on the address bar. Jennifer has that on her website, so when she asks for their personal information, they can see in the browser that it's a secure page.
Excellent. Now, we've partnered with several different companies that allows us to have an easy way for you not only to update, but to accomplish the goals that we've set forth in this webinar, to have a good online presence, to have a great web design, to have tools so that when you get a borrower that comes to your website, you can not only capture their information, but they're going to pick up and call you. They're going to know where you are. Remember the lender for life, okay? So once again, you can do this. You can do this yourself, okay? We know that. These are things that we've experienced over the past couple of years where people say, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I've got a website. I won't worry about it or spend time or money. But guess what ends up happening? Remember lender for life. So ask yourself this question. How much effort do you want to spend in time, money, resources, updates, and headaches? Okay? The gentleman that owns Lender for Life, I asked him that question. And Dave, what did he say?
You asked him the question. What did he say? He's an older guy. He's a smart guy. He's got a master's degree. He doesn't have the time. He doesn't have the expertise. He doesn't know how to do it.
Well, what do you spend time doing, right? Getting more business.
Right.
Talking to borrowers. Getting more 1003 applications in, okay? You can do it yourself, or we can help you.
Okay, that's what you were saying. Mortgage professionals aren't necessarily techie people. You know what I mean? We're just not.
Okay, so here's what we're offering, okay? So once again, you can do it yourself. We're going to have these webinars, so we're going to teach you these different tips and things that you can do if you want to do it yourself. PipelinePRO is a specific mortgage professional marketing website service, okay, that is going to allow you to get a designed website, personalized domain name, URL, a Google account set up. We'll set it up for you, okay? Keyword optimization. You know how we were searching for loan officers, home loans in your city, in your area, we will do that for you. We will optimize the website. We'll also start the Google Maps request so you show up on the maps. We can do personalized subpages. We'll have lead generation tools, so if I come in as a borrower, I can put my information in and it'll go straight to your email or your phone. And then we'll also provide hosting and online security. And guess what, Dave? The best part of this whole PipelinePRO thing is that we can do it within 7 to 10 business days.
We've done it for us here at Mortgage Educators. I mean, when I bought the company 4 years ago, Mortgage Educators didn't exist. I mean, it wasn't even on the map or anybody's radar screen. Now we have a huge market share across the country, and I've got to fly out tomorrow over to the great state of Washington. I'm not going to be home for the next 2 weeks. What we're sharing with you guys is what we figured out on our own. And when you guys come up to me and say, Dave, can you help me, do what you've done? What we're doing is we're handing this to you. But I'm afraid people are going to think that this is like way super expensive. So, yeah,
which, the whole purpose behind PipelinePRO is to offer you an affordable service that provides you with the tools, the website, the search engine optimization at an affordable price. Now, if we get slammed with business, it may be past a little bit of that 10 business days, but we'll work as hard as we can to make sure that we get it as soon as possible, and it's definitely going to be before our lender for life client that he spent 3 years. He's still doing it, so he may be on a 6-year plan.
So we are going to still offer monthly webinars, teach you how to do it. Brad, you can tell these people how to do it. That's right?
And every month we'll give you some tidbits if you want to do it on your own to how you can optimize your website, how you can be better online, how you can reach more people.
Okay, so if you want to do it on your own, again, you can do it on your own and we'll help you. Okay?
Ask yourself this question: how much is one more closed loan? Dave, what's
As
the
I've
average?
gone across the country, I would say the average, and I'm just going to do round numbers right now, the average loan, not East Bay in Northern California and not, 100,000 in, Southern Texas, but average, I would say it's about 200,000 is the average loan amount in the country today. Round numbers, about 200,000.
Thanks. So what we're offering with PipelinePRO for individual mortgage professionals is $495, gets you a designed website, keyword optimization, get your Google account set up. We'll continue to host it, make sure it's secure for an additional $30 a month. But the onboarding cost for you to get done within 7 to 10 business days is $500.
I don't know what people's LO comp is, but if you're at 1% on 200,000 and you get one more loan, that's $2,000. If you're at 1.25%, 1.5%, and again, I don't know where people's LO comp is set at. We're trying to make it as affordable for you guys as we can. The longer you guys stay in business means the longer we stay in business.
We understand that there's competitors out there that are offering the tools. Here's the tools. You do it. Your time. You figure it out. What we're offering and what separates us from them is that we're offering a service on top of doing the design. That's the difference.
Is that price right, Anthony? I thought that it was different than that.
Listen, Dave Luna likes to take care of people. Okay, so we're cutting it in half.
It was higher than that, Brad. It was higher than that.
Now, if you're a company, our more enterprise-level product is PipelinePRO for companies, and we're going to start that at $495. Associations,
$14.95 is what you meant.
$14.95, correct. So about half price. Listen, we appreciate your time. We hope you take advantage of these tips, whether you do it yourself or you have us do it. We sure appreciate your business, and we have our phone number listed here, as well as if you want more information, you can email us. This webinar, once again, it has been recorded, and we'll send this out within 24 hours, and we hope you had an enjoyable time. We sure appreciate it. Dave, do you have anything?
Well, again, guys, I'm just surprised that less loan officers show up on some of these Google searches. And if you only got one thing out of this today is you've got to make your presence known. You've got to just get out and get it done. Please do it.
Well, and we'll get started with you today. If you want to get this PipelinePRO, either for individual or for companies, we are ready to go. You give us a call, send us an email, and we will get it started today. I think you'll be surprised at how quickly we can get your presence started online, and then with you we'll start really refining it as well.
Well, I have a question. Jennifer Ney was actually a customer. I mean, you guys should have seen, maybe you shouldn't have, what the website used to look like. Brad, how long has it taken us to go from where she was to where she is now?
Just a couple of weeks. Now, she was one of the first customers, but she has PipelinePRO for individuals. Before, when you searched for her, you could not find her anywhere, and we might do that on another webinar maybe, that we could show that where she was at. But as you can see now, she comes up number 1 in all of the searches, and that's the thing that we would like to do for you guys.
Once again, we appreciate your business and your time today. Give us a call. We'd be glad to help you out. All right, have a great week.
Thanks, everybody.